everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I am here with this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new, of course, I don't want you to feel like you don't know what's going on. WIP stands for Work in Progress. So I'm going to be working on a project today while I am chatting with you just about life and diamond painting things and YouTube things. So feel free to pull out a project to work alongside me if you'd like. I am going to be kitting up a diamond painting. That is 99% of the time what you'll see me working on craft-wise is something diamond painting related. And I just finished up a couple recent projects and I'm ready to kit up and get started on my next one. And it's fun to do this alongside you guys in WIP and Chat. So that's how the timing worked out this week. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. What I'm going to be kitting up is a kit that I just had a feeling when I saw the previews on social media that I was going to work on it right away, but I thought, let me see what happens. And when I get it in person, unbox it, which there's an unboxing video that's going to go up, so stay tuned for that. And just kind of then decide if it feels like something I really do want to work on. And my gosh, the way that it was completely cemented for me when I looked at the canvas, when I just saw all of it, I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So this kit right here just came out last week from Diamond Art Club. This is one of the new Star Wars panels. Specifically, this is the one for A New Hope because I did get all three and I'm going to do them in chronological order. Not necessarily like back to back to back, but longer term. I still thought, let me do these in chronological order because that's just how my brain works. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not actually the only one that would do this. But this incidentally is my favorite in terms of the color palette and the overall artwork. So I am looking forward to working on this a lot. We're going to be kitting it up. It's going to be a bit of an adventure to kit up, I think, because this kit only has 19 colors. And the color that there is the most of, which is this dark brown color, it's in like most of the background here, there's 20 bags of it. So I feel like with the kit like this one, I'm going to be like swiping as many of these large size Elizabeth Ward style containers that I have and just basically seeing like how many I can kind of fill up my tray with. So I probably won't be able to fit I highly doubt I'm going to be able to fit all of the drills into like one container. I'm probably going to have some leftover bags that I'm going to have to refill from as I work on the kit. And that's really fine. It's fine. I've done that kind of thing before. So we'll see. I haven't worked on a kit quite like this one before in terms of there just being a ton of color blocking and such a small color count, but being something that is huge. I don't know if you guys saw it when they did the preview or if you got this yourself. We're talking a kit that's over 4 feet tall. We're 17 by 51 inches, 42.8 by 129.5 centimeters. It's very similar to the Mandy Manzano Princess panels. So if you know how big those are, then that can give you kind of an idea. So we'll open this up and we'll take a look. Oh, we got some ASMR crunchies from my cat who decided to, as always, come over and start eating just when I have started filming. This happens nearly every night when I sit down to start recording videos. So just a little bit of background crunchies. I did want to show you guys really quick because when I do these kit up videos, I don't get to do my usual, like, look at all these fun accessories and these small shops to go and check out. I got these in from Pure Bliss and I just wanted to show you because they're really, really, really cute. It's this new, the shop is Pure Bliss Wax Company. You've seen me share them before on my channel. But you guys, they have these putties in various shapes and they just launched these, they're lollipops. They're literally, it's putty on a stick. And I just think that is the cutest thing. And I just had to share it with you guys. So they do different shapes for their putties. This one is in the scent Cherry Bomb. This one kind of smells like cherry cough drops. That one is not going to be one that I probably reach for, to be honest. They sent these over along with the monthly box that I'll be doing a preview of tomorrow. They're like, oh, these are new. We want to, send them to you so you can check them out. This one is Kickin' Limeade, and this one's like green. There's a bit of like mica on there too. And that one's much more lightly fragranced. But yeah, they have this putty. I like using it in my multi-placer. Summer weather, it can get a little soft, so I tend to pop it either in my freezer or fridge to kind of reset the formula and get it more usable again. So if you have trouble with it, then that's my suggestion. This one, I smelled it earlier. It was the first one I opened up and smelled. This one's Banana Taffy. It smells exactly like Banana Laffy Taffy. There's something about that scent that it actually smells nothing like real banana, in my opinion. It just, there's a scent of banana Laffy Taffy, and that's what this one is. That's my favorite, for sure. So check these out if you want to, and tomorrow I'm going to have the preview of their July box going live, which is going to be the same day that the box actually comes out, but that's just kind of how the timing worked out this year. Okay, get down. Cats don't go on tables. Thank you, cat owners. I know you're here with me. Okay, let me grab a drink and we will get started. Let me open up this box. I will have an unboxing video go up at some point. We're kind of like here with going into the end of June, beginning of July. I have a lot of different videos that are more time sensitive. So I don't know when this unboxing is actually going to go up, but since it's not time sensitive, it's just going to wait. Oh, I pulled the canvas out. Dang it. I was going to show you guys. Let me go grab it because I do want to give you a little quick preview. Okay, grabbed it. I forgot. I took it out so I could show my husband because he's a Star Wars nerd too. So I will show that to you. Let me get this other stuff out. I filmed this unboxing last night, and it is an unboxing that has all of the panels in it, all of the Star Wars panels. So you'll get to see all of them, which hopefully will be really fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. So here's a look at the canvas. Yeah, we're in the frame. There's the top of the canvas, and this dark brown background color here. That's the one that we just have a ton of, like 20 bags of. But I love the vintage, it's like vintage retro colors. This color palette is definitely calling my name. I'm torn. Like, I kind of want to end like at the bottom with the Star Wars logo and Luke here, but normally I'm like start at the bottom of the canvas and work my way up. But either way, you know, I'm going to be I think I'm going to work on this sideways. Like, I'll just have it rolled at either end, and I'm just going to work on it sideways and just work in sections and then flip it to work on the other side. So anyway, that is the A New Hope panel. I think we'll see. I think it's going to go pretty fast since there is so much color blocking, but we'll see. It came with a bronze card. I think did all these come with bronze cards? I think they did. I was like, well, the whole thing with Diamond Archive, I think, said that kits that are bigger technically have a greater chance of coming with rarer cards, and that just has not really been my experience. I just seem to, across the board, no matter what the size, have about the same chance of getting whatever rank of card, which is like 95% bronze cards. So I don't know. Okay, so let me get this situated. So I want to make space because I'm going to use just a ton of these big containers. I did not really strategize this very much. I just was like, this is what I have in my head about how I think I want to do it, but in practice, I don't know. So I'm just going to make some space. I love Elizabeth Ward containers. If I had to only work with one set of storage containers for the rest of my life, it would be Elizabeth Ward containers. It's what I use like 80% of the time. The rest of the time, the only reason I'm branching out is because I'm forcing myself to. I'm like, I really should try other containers and work with other things, but it's not my favorite. And then we'll fill in this up. If you had to ask me like what my ride or dies are for other accessories, I'd probably have a lot harder time. But when it comes to storage containers, it's a lot easier for me to just be like, Elizabeth Ward. They're really versatile in my opinion. Just different sizes of containers. Like I can mix and match completely freely. I grabbed the 4 empty trays that I have. I have a couple that are in use, but I grabbed all these trays just so I could yoink all of the largest size because I think I'm going to try to use all of them, or as many as I can, and we'll see how that goes. So let me do this in here. It is summer. We're in summer months, so I am just staying sleeveless and as cool as possible over here. Okay, let's put these over here. I'm attempting to be strategic. I don't know how well it's gonna go. Okay, should have done this beforehand so I'm not boring you guys to tears. Anyway, hello, hi. How are you doing today? How is your week going so far? Are you enjoying some summer weather like we are over here? Yeah, it has definitely trended towards the warmer end of things, which means once I get caught up on my temperature project, I'm hopefully going to have a lot of variety in terms of colors and get to some of the colors that are on the higher range of things, which will be very fun. So there's that. But I am not a summer person. Every single summer you'll hear me fussing here on my channel. I don't like being hot. I don't like sweating. I like my winter wardrobe options a lot better. I like layering. But what can you do? I know we still have it milder than a lot of other areas. I live in Southern California, so it's not that bad, but it's still hot. So we have 20 bags of 801, this lovely brown color. So I'm thinking I might try to fill up like 3 of the big containers with this color. And then we have 4 bags of 444. And then these we don't have quite as many of. So I think what I'm going to do, actually, I think I'm going to start with the smaller containers and then just see how much space I have left to put as much of this brown color in as possible. So let's start with the colors that they're the least of, which we do have a little strand here that are these, like, these will fit in the smallest size Elizabeth Ward container, which is very handy. So that's what we'll start with. In the unboxing, you'll see, like, all the special drills. It's like there's a pattern. They all have 2 fairy dust and 1 AB, and they all have the white fairy dust color in them. And so there's a bunch of, I think there's a good amount of white fairy dust in this kit too. I think these will be fun. I'm hoping that I don't get too burned out on a large kit. But I think, like I said, because of all the color blocking, that I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay, but I'm telling myself I can really take my time with it. My thought is that, well, I'll have this kit going, and then I finished 2 kits this past week. So I finished The Soul of the Rose by John William Waterhouse, and I finished Rainbows and Starlight by Ashley Asherby. The first one was a Distracted by Diamonds kit that I got in a D-stash, and the second one was a Diamond Art Club kit that has since been discontinued, sadly. And I loved having those 2 WIPs going at the same time. If you watched my WIP and Chats these past few weeks, I'm sure that you likely heard me talking about that. And this was just one of those instances where, what DMC color was that? 779. This is one of those instances where I did like having multiple WIPs going. As a rule, I usually prefer to have just one WIP going. I like the momentum I can get with it and everything. But in this case, it was nice because the John Wayne Waterhouse was a little bit of a headache in terms of the quality issues I was running into it. And so being able to go back and forth between that and a kit that didn't have quality issues was really nice. And also the variety of color palette was great. So my thought is that I'm going to do something similar, excuse me, as we're going into July and as I'm starting this kit, because my plan was always to do an Old Masters kit in June and then a different Old Masters kit in July. I still have yet to decide which Old Masters kit I would like to do in July. I have it narrowed down to, I think, just a couple of options. I'm thinking of either doing the Great Wave off Kanagawa by Hokusai in square drills from Diamond Dots. I did the round drill version last year. But I just don't know if I have Diamond Dots square kind of energy right now, because they can be a headache to work with. I don't know if they're actually made of acrylic for sure. I'm pretty sure that they are. They're just not my favorite to work with. Acrylic squares, they just tend to be, like, 90% of the time, they're really bad quality and are so fussy. So I have to decide if I'm, like, ready to take on a headache, or I have a couple of Make Market kits that are smaller in size, like the Almond Blossoms kit that I did last year. I keep throwing this in here before I know what my color is, because I'm not going in order. I actually need to keep track of what DMC code I'm on. What was I saying? Oh, last year I did Almond Blossom from Make Market and Van Gogh, and actually loved how it turned out. I thought it was great, and it was cute because it came on a hanger and everything, and I was like, this is one of almost less than a handful of kits I could imagine actually displaying in my home. And so I have Starry Night, and then what's the other one? I can't remember what the other one is off the top of my head. But I could do one of those. So I really think I have it narrowed down to those two. I I have a couple of other old Masters kits in my stash. I'm really not in the mood to work on those this year. So I don't think I'm going to push it or force it. So anyway, that is my thought. Multiple kits going. And I'm curious to see how this one feels once I start working on it. So yes, overall thoughts on the John William Waterhouse piece. I do think that overall I'm happy with how it turned out. It's pretty confetti heavy in a lot of areas, but it looks like it's been hand touched up in the hands and face. And I think that high confetti computer renders tend to work pretty well for old Masters kits as long as they're not too small. And that was definitely my opinion about this one too. And I will do a post review on it. It's most likely going to be 3862 in the halfway point check-in video that I'm planning to do for Summer with the Masters, which will probably be either on Wednesday or Thursday this week. So if you've been participating in Summer with the Masters, that halfway point check-in, I'm going to be giving away a couple of $25 gift cards, and I'll have instructions in that video for how to make sure that you're entered for those, and then I'll be contacting the winners afterwards. But I wanted to, this year for Summer with the Masters, keep it very low-key. And I think this is just the right kind of rhythm, like doing one check-in video halfway through, and then I'll do one wrap-up finale video at the end to give away a couple of grand prizes. And so yes, if you're participating in Summer with the Masters, look for that video this week. I have to actually go and look at the form. I don't know how many people have filled it out, how many people have been participating, but I've seen people, you guys sometimes sharing in comments about it or posting pictures. A lot of you have been posting pictures in the Diamonds and Emeralds Facebook group or in other spaces, which I love. So thank you so much if you're doing that. It's been really fun to see the different projects people are working on this year. Yeah, so, someone just dropped something upstairs. So there is that. And then my thoughts on Rainbows and Starlight are that I loved it. I was so happy with it. It brought me ridiculous amounts of joy to work on. Perfect for June, of course, with all things rainbows. And I think it turned out really well. I'm really disappointed that Diamond Art Club discontinued that one because it's really beautiful. And I just don't think we have enough kits by Asherby on the Diamond Art Club website anyway. So I'm really dang bummed that that there's only one other kit by Asherby available on their website. And so I did look through her portfolio to see if there were any other images that jumped out at me to send in. And there were a couple, but I need to actually send them in. I'm not the greatest about following through on doing that. I don't know if you guys are, but if the artist is already licensed with Diamond Art Club, you can just look at their portfolio and send images to licensing for them to consider. And if it's an artist that isn't already signed with Diamond Art Club and isn't signed elsewhere, you could just send like the artist's name and contact info to Diamond Art Club, and I think they'll look into it. 3823. Okay. Only 19 colors in this kit. I don't know if we finish kitting this up. I might have to just like kind of start this on the fly with you guys in this video, which would be totally fine. But we're gonna get into some colors that are gonna need. I have to cut open more bags anyway. So. Yeah, good experience, I feel like. Just kind of looking back at June and the kits that I completed in June, I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. I'm also looking ahead. I don't know if you guys saw that Flossie Fox announced their next Stitch Along. It's going to be starting in August, and she announced that it's coming. The Stitch Along itself, like part 1 will get sent out to participants in August, and if you want to purchase a pre-order, which I think I don't know if there's like any pre-order perks, honestly, besides a slightly discounted rate. But if you get the pre-order, that's going to be available in July sometime. And I don't know, I hope she releases some accessories like she did with the Night of the Frost Dragon Stitch Along. She released like coordinating washi tape and cover minders. I really hope she does that with this one. This one's like the Flower Dragon? Something like that. It's different dragons that all have a flower theme, and I'm planning to participate. Jada Gem Shop did put up a listing that, if you're newer to stitch alongs and cross stitch conversions, excuse me, I'm having weird allergies today. I'm really sorry. If you are newer to it and you're just like, I would like to do as little brain work, like you have to use as little brain power as possible, You can go to Jada Gem Shop and pick up this listing that's already ready to go, that has the blank canvas and has the drills and everything. $9.72. I have to stop doing that, which I did. And there's a default background color already picked for you. So if you just want it to feel a little bit less overwhelming, that's, I feel like, a really good route to go. But you can also source your blank canvas and drills from elsewhere. You can get them from like Evermoment or, gosh, I know there's other small shops that do blank canvases and drills, but my brain is just not braining today. So I don't have any good suggestions, but there definitely are other shops that will do blank canvases and drills for you. If you want to join in. I did a post review and an unboxing for the Night of the Frost Dragon Stitch Along where I tried to explain the process a little bit more, so it maybe makes a little bit more sense if you're like, what is this? So I will try to remember to link those below if you'd like to take a look at those. Okay. We are rocking and rolling. Okay, that's number 400. That's the last of the like really small bags. Let's see as we get into these next ones how big they are. Starting at this end. I don't know if that's going to fit in the smallest container. Let's see. All right. So yeah, that's a stitch along. Thoughts on my completed kits. Summer with the Masters midpoint is coming up. And then speaking of midpoint check-in, Summer with the Masters midpoint check-in, I also did a 2025 midpoint check-in video that went up on Friday. Since I didn't, was that Friday? Yeah, because I didn't have my sneak peek in on time this week. And so that was actually a really fun video to do, kind of going through all of my completed canvases so far and kind of revisiting those. It's so funny because in some ways it feels like the year has gone incredibly quickly. I can't believe that we're already halfway through the year, but also it feels like a million years ago that I worked on Fixer Uppers or Love Bard. It feels like that was so long ago. To be fair, that was like 20 kits ago, but still, it's weird, like the sort of juxtaposition of it feeling like time is flying, but also that feels like that was a lifetime ago. But I really liked doing the midpoint check-in this year. This is the first year that I've done a midpoint check-in as opposed to just doing my big year in review video at the end of the year. Let's be fair, this year was a little bit different because at the beginning of the year, this is the first time that I specifically laid out goals with you guys that I had for the year, as well as specific kits that I wanted to maybe try to work on this year. And I have to admit, because I am a people pleaser to a really ridiculous degree, and like literally working on it in therapy kind of ridiculous degree. Like I got to work on this people pleasing, this conflict avoidance. It's like classic firstborn perfectionist syndrome issues. But I always worry a little bit where I'm like, how are you guys going to feel? It's partly you guys and partly myself. It's like, do I feel like I'm letting myself down, or that you guys are going to like feel disappointed or feel like I've let you down if I'm like, well, okay, I'm changing it and I'm not going to work on some of these kits like I originally planned to, or no, I haven't met this goal like at all that I set for myself. And look, no, of course I know, like the real ones don't care. And I'm confident in my reasoning and sharing about that, but there's still that back part of my brain that's like, oh, are people going to be mad at me? But no, everyone has been super, you guys are always super chill in my comments. So I actually even had a couple of people saying like, it's really refreshing to get a realistic look at adjusting your goals and adjusting like what you kind of how you thought things were going to be. It's like, yeah, plans can change and like, it's okay. It's nice to see that you're gonna alter course because any number of reasons, and here's how you're gonna go about it. So I appreciated that too. And I feel pretty good about that going into the second half of the year. And like, even though Drills and Chills is going to be here and I'm going to be just really thinking about all things fall and Halloween, it's like, no, I can work in some other kits in the mix too. It doesn't have to be all about that. I could still meet some of my goals, but there's always part of me that also is worried, like when I bring up, like in that video I brought up something about how there's a shop that I wanted to try a kit from, and really actually wanted to try a smaller kit than this like massive one that I had bought as my first and only kit from them so far. But I went on their website, and it was like the only options were either AI or landscapes. And I felt like, well, I want to say I try not to go out of my way, or I try not to, as best as I can, like not be buying AI art kits, diamond painting kits. But I never want it to be like I'm being judgmental of you if you do, or I'm not trying to like make a thing out of it. It's just where I'm at right now. And I just, again, it was one of those things I'm like, can be a really hot topic. I don't know if this is going to set up any arguments in the comments or whatever, but I was like, no, but it's the truth. And it's not being judgmental. I'm not being mean to anyone. It's just a statement. So, whenever I touch on potentially touchy topics, there's always that like, is this gonna turn into a thing with a capital T? No, it was fine. So I kind of want to keep these like halfway point check-ins, maybe going forward into, future years, because that was fun. Okay, this one, we have 2 bags of 720. Do we think it's gonna fit in this size, or are we gonna need the next size up? Let's give it a try. Yeah, the rest of these colors I think are mostly going to have multiple bags. So this is where it's going to get interesting. What else has been going on? So, if you missed it, last week I did a set of tag questions that kind of tied into this whole doing a halfway point check-in idea. So if you missed it and you want to hear me talk a lot more in depth about like what was my favorite kit that I worked on, what kit made me cry, what was my favorite, new to me shop this year and stuff like that, feel free to go and check that out. And maybe, I don't know, if you have a channel or if you want to answer along in the comments, feel free to do so. I had fun kind of putting that together. As it turned out, one of you had left in the comments a mention that this was something that is really common in the booktube space, which I didn't realize. This is something that I guess a lot of booktubers do. I really just dip my toes into booktube. There's just a couple of different creators that I follow, and I even use the word follow loosely. I don't watch all of their videos. It tends to be just things that it looks like it's a topic that's going to be of interest to me, but I'm not immersed in the booktube space by any stretch. And so I wasn't as familiar with things that are maybe community-wide, like a Midyear freakout tag. But that was cool to hear. It's cool to hear that they have their, traditions and community things like we do over here in the diamond painting space. So yeah, feel free to go and take a look at that video last week if you would like to, I guess, hear more. There was a little bit less of like life updates in that particular video. I think I'm gonna need a bigger container. We're gonna need a bigger boat. And also, I was really happily surprised to see when I floated the question in my Midyear check-in video on Friday, I asked, would you guys be okay with me doing my next stash video in the style of just basically scrolling through my gems flow with you and like sharing my screen with you and showing you what's in my stash that way instead of physically pulling out all of my diamond paintings. Really pleasantly surprised to see, like, there were maybe 1 or 2 people that were like, oh, I kind of like seeing the physical boxes, but no, like 100 of you guys were all like, no, gems flow is fine. And actually I prefer it because then I can see the images better, which is a completely fair point. So I am planning to do an updated stash video. Those numbers are crazy. I spent like an hour and a half updating my gems flow this week because I always fall behind and don't keep my gems flow up to date. And just seeing the number of kits that I have in my collection, it's a lot. It's a little overwhelming sometimes. Even though I have destashed a lot and given away a lot, there's still, I'm like, okay, about time for another destash. But yes, so stash video coming soon, maybe in July, maybe in August. We'll see. I do want to get a better filming situation where I can screen share, where the quality is going to be good. I've had a really hard time with doing that in the past, where it feels like the video quality ends up being really poor. Anyway, I'm so far from a professional or an expert when it comes to video editing. I feel like I really keep it incredibly, incredibly basic and simple, which it works for me usually. But when I want to do things that are like a little bit more and find a way to do it that's a little bit more efficient and not a huge headache, that's when I run into trouble. Honestly, that's when I run into trouble. So yeah, that's coming. Anyway, it's a whole like diamond painting related update. I also have been having continued pain throughout my right arm. The past few days has been centered this time like really in my shoulder. It seems to change where I'm having the most pain or discomfort. It's like sometimes it's my wrist. Like a week ago, it was my wrist is really where I was feeling it. When it originally started a few weeks ago, it was in my elbow. And occasionally like little shooting pains down here, which makes me think carpal tunnel, right? But now I'm really feeling it in my shoulder. And Adam thinks I should go ahead and call the doctor and go in. I was like, yeah, but it might just be, I might have just pulled something. And sometimes it just takes time for that to heal. It might just be some like inflammation or whatever. It's like, yeah, I still think you should go in. I was like, well, okay, maybe. And one of you commented last week something about tennis elbow, like you had something similar and it ended up being tennis elbow and you went to physical therapy and it cleared right up. So like, I'm hoping it's something that we can fix pretty quickly. There's part of me that always gets a little nervous where it's like, especially when it's like a shoulder injury or something. I just like my mom, wait, do I have this right? My mom watches my videos. She'll correct me if I'm wrong. She had shoulder surgery, right? Yeah. She had shoulder surgery at one point. It was like when I was in high school. No, it was foot surgery. Anyway, I get nervous. I'm like, what if this is going to turn into surgery? Which is such a classic, like, me thing to do. It's just to catastrophize, go straight to worst case scenario because why not? But, yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm kind of still wanting to be in the camp of like, just ignore it and it'll get better on its own. When I'm like, no, I probably should go get it looked at. But I'm just like, this is my favorite thing to do is to diamond paint. It's like my main hobby and it's like a huge part. It's like the only reason that I'm on YouTube with my channel, really. It's the whole reason I'm here. So just like, I don't want it to affect my diamond painting. What if I go in and they say you can't diamond paint for so many weeks? But I know that like, if I keep ignoring it and it gets worse, then it could be even longer, even worst case scenario. So anyway, I'm annoyed that I still am having this like pain and discomfort. It's bothering me a lot. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. Curious to see if you guys are in the comments like, go to the doctor, or some of you are like, no, just give it time, it'll heal. Yeah, so there's that. This past weekend, there was a lot of fun things that happened this past weekend, actually. It's Sunday night as I'm filming this, but we've had a really good weekend. So Adam and I had our wedding anniversary, it was on Thursday, and it was our 15th wedding anniversary, which 15 is that is not a short amount of time. There's something about that just feels, I don't know. It's a milestone, right? Because it's like, 10, 15, 20, those like 5-year marks feel like they're big ones. And it's like, I can't wrap my brain around it. Like 15 years. I was going back and looking at some of our wedding photos and it's like 15 years ago, me, I'm like, wow, look at those baby faces. Look at those just children. I mean, I was 21, right? I was 21 when we got married. Yeah. I was 21 when we got married. Is that right? Yes. Yeah. So I just look back, I'm like, 21. What was I doing getting married at 21? He's a few years older than me. But I was just like, I graduated from college and got married 2 weeks later. And then a month later, we moved across the country together. So it was very like, let's go on this grand adventure together. Let's go ahead and let's dive right in to all that life has to offer together. And it's so funny because looking back, I know, and my parents have said as much, like I would have such a hard time if that were my kid. I'm like, you're going to do what? You are going to get married at what age? And you are going to move across the country with no jobs, mind you. Now that was a different time. Nowadays, I'd be like, no, there's no way. Like if you have a job, you hold on to it with a death grip. But, yeah, it's been fun to kind of go down memory lane a little bit and look at my complete lack of gray hair. I blame my children and, you know, the events of 2020 for my current gray hair situation. But yeah, just fun little memory lane. Now, we weren't going to obviously do anything extravagant just because of personal, you know, budgets, job situation, circumstances. But got a very, very sweet gift from parents. We were able to go out and celebrate. So we ended up just going out to dinner. Nothing super crazy. And we went to a restaurant in like downtown Disney, the downtown Disney area. Technically, it was in the Grand Californian Hotel. And, you know, we've always had really fond associations with Disney. We actually went to Disney World for our honeymoon. It was a lot of fun, you guys. It was so much fun. And when we moved out here, we live pretty easy driving distance to Disneyland. And at the time, local, like Southern California annual passes were super reasonable. So we had gotten, you know, we've had passes on and off for the first 10 or so years that we lived here. And I don't know, it's always been a place that we've really enjoyed going. And even when we haven't had passes, we've enjoyed just going to downtown Disney and walking around, kind of enjoying the vibes. They're always doing new things there too. And have just enjoyed, for some special occasions, we'll go to downtown Disney to go out for our anniversary or for a birthday or something like that. And trying out, you know, different restaurants that are down there. And this one we had never been to. I'm actually not sure how long it's been there. I was just kind of Googling and searching for some different restaurants we could go to. And this one kept coming up as like a real hidden gem. It was called the Hearthstone Lounge, and it was really, really lovely. If you're a whiskey person, if you're local and you're a whiskey person, that's what they're really known for. I'm not a whiskey person. And like they have their own like kind of exclusive whiskeys and stuff, and which I'm like, oh, that's fun. Again, not for me, but it's really cool that they have it. Adam had, you know, something that I think was, I don't know if it was exclusive to them or what, but he had something. And then we had for dinner, we ended up both getting the same thing because it looked so good. And our waiter said that it was by far her favorite dish on their menu. And it was this short rib ravioli, or not lasagna, not ravioli, short rib lasagna that had like, I think it was like spinach, something, pasta noodles, and like 3 different kinds of cheese, and this tomato sauce that was to die for. Look, I knew what I was getting into, or what I was possibly stepping into with eating red meat, and also I got one drink. I was like, okay, I've got my migraine medicine ready. But like, this just sounds way too good. Like, I will deal in the name of getting to enjoy this. So it was one of like the most delicious things I've ever eaten. It was so good. We both were like, this was the perfect choice. This was such a good choice. And I had this like watermelon something drink. It was one of their like Pride Month drinks, and it was watermelon. There was vodka and like an aperitif white wine, and then a couple other things in it, and it was so good. There was like a little watermelon ball in it too. It was delicious. It was a wonderful meal, and the whole atmosphere was just, it was so nice. It was so nice, but it wasn't like, you know, crazy budget-wise or anything either. So you know, we haven't really been doing much in the way of date stuff. And so it was a really special treat to go out and do that and just celebrate. So I'm really, really glad we're able to do that. And okay, how do I want to do this? I'm going to end up putting these in a different order at some point, but let me just see if I do it here. Will this fit? Okay, for now, that's where it's going to stay. Look at how much of this orange AB there are. It's so pretty. So yeah, that was this weekend. We had our anniversary. It was wonderful to get to go out and celebrate. Let me check on. Okay. And then we went swimming with the kids today. It's hot. It was like a high of 89 Fahrenheit today. Definitely swimming weather. We've been doing a lot more swimming as we've been kind of moving into summer mode and stuff. And what else did we do this weekend? I'm completely drawing a blank. We had a nice weekend is really the point. Adam's parents watched the kids so we could go out for our anniversary. And the kids got to have grandma and grandpa time. We went out on Friday. So it was just, all in all, it was really, it was a great start to the weekend. And this weekend, I guess, has been chill. Staying inside a little bit and whatnot. But, I was just kind of thinking about my feelings towards Disney over the years, where I feel like it lost a lot of that magic for me, where it kept going more and more like to kind of the corporate side of things, where prices just really kept going up, and you saw a lot of the quality really suffering, and just how everything went with the events of 2020. I was like, you know what? I think I just want to be done with having annual passes for the foreseeable future. Like, the magic's just gone. I don't even want to imagine, like, I can't even see myself really going back and enjoying it, for the foreseeable future. But just recently, it's, kind of come back into my brain. I'm like, I miss it. I do miss it. And I feel like some of the magic maybe I could recapture it. They're doing the Paint the Night Parade is back for the 70th anniversary celebration. And that was my favorite parade that they've ever done. And I think it's been about 10 years since they've had it at Disneyland. And there's part of me that's like, maybe I could ask for that for my birthday or something from family. Like, can I just have a one-day ticket so that I can go do a Disney day, see the Paint the Night Parade? That would be really fun. I don't know. I'm just thankful that we got to do something like going out to dinner at Downtown Disney and walk around a little bit there too. As far as, the other thing that we did this weekend, of course, this was like so low key. Well, I had my Patreon live stream for Patreon members that are in my live stream tier. I have Patreon and YouTube memberships if you're interested in supporting my channel in an additional way to watching my videos, which is always incredibly supported and all I could ever ask for. But if you want some behind the scenes stuff like weekly vlogs or monthly live streams, depending on what tier you're in, I do have Patreon and YouTube memberships. So I do my lives with Patreon and YouTube memberships at the end of the month, usually the weekend. So we had that this weekend, and it was fun to chat. I finally got some work done on my temperature project. I got all of May caught up. So I just have June to do. We will see if I get June caught up before my month in review video. I don't know if I will or not, but we'll see. So that was this weekend. And then today, I'm going to try not to go super overboard about this, even though it is very genuinely my latest, like, hyperfixation. And that is, the hyperfixation itself is the new Netflix movie K-Pop Demon Hunters, which I know the name probably sounds like it's this, potentially this, like, graphic, crazy thing. It's not. It's animated. It is kid-friendly. It's, and it was just amazing. I'd been hearing about it for a while. Even though it's only been out for like a week. It's just pretty much as soon as it came out, I felt like I was hearing so many different people talk about it. I dipped my toes in the water a little bit by listening to a couple of the songs from it, because it does have a number of songs in it. And if you're really new to the K-pop genre like I am, it's very, I feel like it's newbie friendly in that sense. And I enjoyed the music, and I was like, okay, let me actually sit down and check out this movie. And I watched it, I think, Thursday morning, and I've just been like nonstop consuming the absolute avalanche of fan content that already exists for this movie that came out a week ago. My Instagram feed, like when I go to the search bar, like basically the Instagram For You page, it's all artwork and, gift sets and stuff that are for the specific movie. And we ended up, because a couple of us over in the Crafters Den Discord, which I will always try to have linked in the description box below. I'll always try to have the permalink what's there, because sometimes I've put in, like, I've grabbed the wrong link and it's like it expires after 7 days. But we do have a permanent link that should always work if you want to join. Anyway, there's a couple of us in there that have been really, really, really into this movie and talking about it really a lot in there and trying to convert people. We ended up doing a Discord watch party earlier today where we put the movie on, and there were, several people in there that came in and watched it for the first time, and it was a lot of fun to do that. I'd never really done a Discord watch party before, and I thought this was a lot of fun. So we did that. We're gonna do another one soon because there were some people that couldn't make it but wanted to. And we'll try to, put up an announcement for anyone that wants to join in on that. But yes, if anyone else has similarly, oh no, even if you haven't gone overboard on the hyperfixation train like I have, but if you've at least like watched this movie, feel free to sound off in the comments and tell me how much you love it. It's not going to be for everyone. Like, let me be clear. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. It's made by the same people that made the Into the Spider-Verse movies, the animated movies. And it feels a lot like what Pixar used to be and like what Pixar wants to be, where it feels like it appeals to both kids and adults. It feels like there's good storytelling and interesting characters and things that really tug on your emotions, but it's not like performative and like pandering the way that I feel like unfortunately Pixar has really gotten. It's like, man, what happened to Pixar? They used to make such good movies, like the era of Up and stuff. It's like they used to do such good movies, and now it's just all it's I don't know, something else. So that's really, I feel like, a good maybe way to sort of see it. But yeah, so that's my latest hyperfixation, that I could just literally consume content surrounding it and talk about it all the time. I have no idea how long the hyperfixation will last. I don't know if this will really transition into me listening to more K-pop or if it's just kind of this specific thing, but it's, I was kind of feeling meh about a lot of the fandoms that I think of myself as being in. The way I phrased it is that I feel like I was just sort of poking them, like, which one do I care about? Where's the dopamine? And I wasn't finding it. And so I think that's part of the reason that I've really enjoyed getting super into this, is because I don't really have anything else that's calling my name right now. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's just fun. It's fun to have something to like talk to other people about too. By the way, don't comment on that big old drill spill, okay? Much appreciated. So there's that. That watch party was a lot of fun too. Watch with other people. As far as a pup date, of course I have to give you guys a pup date. I can't stop doing that. Scout is about to be 5 months old based on when we believe his birthday is, and he just keeps getting bigger. I feel like he went through a growth spurt recently. He's all legs. He's got such long legs now. I think he's about 25 pounds. We haven't had to go to the vet for anything in a few weeks, and so if he's continued to gain at least a pound a week, which I really think he probably has, especially because it just looks like he has grown a ton in the past few weeks. Sometimes day to day, it looks like he's even bigger. I would guess he's around 25 pounds. And at 5 months old, I'm like, I think we're probably going to be about on what we were guessing, which is we kind of thought like anywhere from 35 to 40 pounds was our guess for his adult weight. We'll see. He's a mutt, and we don't know for sure like what the dad was and how big the dad was. So I don't know. We'll see. But he had a really fun time while we were pup sitting our friend's dog Watson, who went back a week ago when they got back. And you know what? I think he may have had one accident since Watson has left. So one of you commented, which I really appreciated this comment because it had not occurred to me until you said this. But one of you commented that you're like, I think he's marking his territory because there's another dog. And hadn't even occurred to me because it seemed very like random when it would happen. So I just was like, maybe, but the fact that it virtually stopped as soon as Watson left makes me think, oh, if nothing else, I think he was probably thrown by having another dog here. So it also, I'm sure part of it is just he's getting older and understanding better sort of the idea of going outside and having better bladder control and stuff. So that's probably part of it too, but it's nice to not be having accidents. The only accident he had was when Adam's parents came over, and he was just so excited to see them. I think that's why he had a little piddle. But he's been a lot of fun. He's actively losing his baby teeth now. Like, we've found a couple on the floor, like the bigger ones now. Because he lost his little tiny front teeth further back, like a few weeks back. But now he's losing like some of the bigger ones. And he was like batting one around the floor the other day. I was like, what are you doing? Oh, that's a tooth. Okay, let me just take care of that for you. So giving him lots of things to chew on that are not our hands or clothes or bodies. And he's getting there. He's getting there. And he's doing good with his like daytime crate training, because there's been a couple of times where we've taken the kids over to the pool and we're close enough that we would hear if he were really whining and throwing a fuss, and we just haven't been hearing him do that. So I think he's really kind of getting the hang of crate training in general, which is a huge relief for daytime, because it's like sometimes we just really want to be able to have him in that safe, contained space. So I'm curious to see though if he's going to outgrow his crate. We're just going to have to wait and see. I know the things that you're supposed to use as like markers for if their crate is big enough for them, but it just is going to completely depend on how big he actually gets and how he's like built, like how he carries his weight. But yeah, nighttime crate training has been super easy. Now both he and our cat Skip will try to get us to come upstairs as early as possible in the evening, because they both get treats. Oh no, I just spilled drills everywhere again. I'm a mess. They both get treats at the end of the day. Skip gets a treat because he was getting jealous that Scout was getting treats and he wasn't. So now it's part of Skip's routine. It's his favorite part of the day. I just love our pets so much. And Skip is so tolerant. He's so good with our kids, so good with Scout. I'm like, I've never had a cat that's this chill and this happy to just like, la-di-da, like whatever. Yeah, it's fine if the dog is basically jumping on top of me and trying to ride me like a horse. Not like, we haven't seen that kind of behavior, like the inappropriate. Well, not inappropriate. We haven't seen that from Scout to Skip. But just Scout wants to play, and he'll just get very exuberant and want to like leap at Skip and doesn't realize, I think, how much bigger he's gotten. So we are working with him on trying to learn, being more gentle, not being rough with Skip. Because what Scout could do, like as a littler puppy, it's just not working now that he's bigger. We don't want Skip to get hurt. But then again, Skip's got teeth and claws. He can let Scout know if he gets too rough. We just want to, do our part to make sure we're helping them have a good relationship and no one feels stressed. And then as far as the kids go, just a quick update on the kids too. So Micah started summer school this past week, and I was nervous about him riding the bus because I was afraid he would have some bad associations with it after when he went to this like misadventure school for a couple months earlier in the school year, and it got to the point where he didn't even like riding the bus to that school. Whereas our homeschool, which he moved back to and is a great situation, we walk there. So I was just nervous, like, okay, going to summer school, is he going to have bad associations with riding the bus? And I was prepared to drive him if that were the case. Thankfully, that has not been the case. He's liked riding the bus, and he seems happy to be going to the new school, the school site where summer school is, which is not our homeschool. And it just seems like it's going pretty well, though on Friday he did seem to be having a little bit of a hard time just sort of regulating, which didn't surprise me at all, because it was like, yeah, the end of the first week, he was probably running on some adrenaline and novelty those first few days. This is more typical for my kids, is when there's a transition, usually it's like there's a brief honeymoon period, then we have a little brief rough time where it's harder. And then it usually settles. So I'm hoping that that he feels more settled more quickly. But they're half days. It's not like it's a full day of school. And most weeks, it will just be like 3 or 4 day weeks. This first week, it was unusual that it was 5 days. It just has to do with how they section it out. So, but yeah, so he's in summer school. And then Connor went to VBS this past week to a program that he had gone to the year before and really loved. He really enjoyed it a lot and was sad when it was coming to an end. And I'm just glad he had a really, really great time. But now we have like a few weeks where we don't necessarily have anything specific on the calendar for Connor to do that's kind of, out of the house summer activities. But we want to find some things to do that'll be like, okay, let's do, plenty of swimming. Let's go over to like the park and play. Let's go, do these different things to sort of not spend our summer sitting on the couch playing video games, because he would happily do that, which I get it. I've been that kid spending a summer just reading, playing video games. Like, let's do some things that involve, going outside and doing other things too. So, parents of 10-year-olds, let me know what you guys are doing that is super budget friendly and is getting out of the house just a little bit. But yes, I foresee plenty of time in the swimming pool in our future. So as far as what I've been reading and watching and listening to, reading wise, I have not started Hero of Ages yet, but it did come up for available to check out on Libby, but as an ebook. So I don't remember if I brought this up last week actually, so apologies if you're having deja vu or if I'm repeating myself. But oh no, where's the lid? Grab that. I had signed up for to put my name on the hold list with Libby for both the audiobook and the ebook version, just because there were really long waits for both. So I thought, let me just sign up for both. And it came up as the ebook came up available. I would rather have it as an audiobook so that I can listen while I'm diamond painting. But I think I went ahead and like checked out the ebook because it gave me like a warning this morning. It was like, if you don't check this out soon, your hold's going to expire. I was just being indecisive and watching and listening to K-pop Demon Hunters instead. So I ended up going ahead and checking it out, but I haven't started it. My thought is that maybe I'll go ahead and start it. And then once it hopefully soon comes up as available as the audiobook, maybe then I can switch. And I'll just kind of see how far I get. Interestingly, I saw this post come up. It was like a suggested post on my Facebook where it was someone had posted something along the lines of like unpopular book opinions. And they said something like listening to an audiobook is reading. And I thought, well, I mean, yeah, it is. I understand it's like a different medium. And I was like, well, yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's your brain processes. I think there's been studies that your brain processes the information the same way, whether it's listening to an audiobook or reading a physical book. But you guys, the comment section, I did not realize that this is legit a hot topic. And I was like, what, are we gatekeeping how people read now? Like, what in the world? Are we arguing over semantics? Is this a thing that we're doing on the internet nowadays? No, thank you. Like, however people are deciding to enjoy books, awesome. Like, great. Are you reading? However you're doing it, wonderful. I love it for you. Why are we gatekeeping reading and the terms that we're using? My gosh, I just was floored when I saw that. And I was like, people on the internet will really argue over anything. To be fair, I'm sure there's things I'm guilty of arguing about. That's like, really? That's the hill you're going to die on? But this had me floored. I could not believe how incredibly upset people were getting in the comments. So if you guys get this, if you're in like the booktube world or the bookish community in general, and you understand why this gets people, why particularly the people that are insisting like, no, it's not reading, I just am curious like what the reasoning behind that is. Like, what's the harm in saying that yes, it is reading, the same way that reading like a book is, essentially, you know? So I don't know. Just curious to hear your thoughts on that. And then, so that was my reading. And then watching and listening to, I've already covered this, right? So basically, eat, sleep, breathe K-pop Demon Hunters since Thursday morning. This friend of mine, Tiffany, and I, similarly, she discovered it about the same time and is similarly hyperfixated. It has been virtually non-stop, like Instagram messages back and forth of like various reels or posts that we're finding that of like artwork and stuff. And we're both on a mission to find, we're hoping either like one of Jada Gem Shop's artists that does fan art will like have created fan art or will create fan art for this, or we're trying to find someone that like Jade or another small shop could sign. So we're like, we need it. Like, I need some fan art as a diamond painting ASAP, please. So anyway, that's that. And then as far as what I have coming out this week, this is going to be a busy week for videos, you guys. I will have a Pure Bliss Wax Company, the July box sneak peek will be going up tomorrow. I will be doing a Summer with the Masters midpoint check-in video on either Wednesday or Thursday. I need to do a month in a review video for June, and my sneak peek for last week will hopefully be in soon, and it looks like hypothetically my sneak peek for this week might be on time, which would be delightful. So it's going to be a full week. I don't know if you're going to get this Star Wars unboxing before the end of the week, but it will it will come. I promise. I filmed it. You're gonna get to see all 3 of these panels unboxed. I think 2 of them have sold out now. I think 2 of them have sold out. I think the first one that sold out was Return of the Jedi, and I was so curious to see like which one is gonna sell out first and why that one. And I wondered why that was the one. I think that A New Hope is maybe the only one that's still in stock. And I was like, but it's so funny because this one I feel like is the more vibrant color palette. But I don't know. If you guys got one of these kits, you'll have to let me know, or if you got all of them. So let's see. If you made it all the way to the end, I really thought that I was going to finish kitting this up before the end of the video, quite honestly. And nope, I still got 3 more bags of this brown color. Can I kill time? Can I keep you here until it's finished? I think I'm just going to need this one more container and I'll be done. Let's see. If you made it all the way to the very end, we have Star Wars. What's Star Wars related? What's A New Hope related? What's K-pop Demon Hunters related? Why don't, this would be an interesting one, and this will be really subjective. So why don't you guys give an emoji that to you in some way is representative of something that you love, whether it's like an actual hyperfixation, or if it's just a fandom that you're in, or if it's just more general, like I like reading. Here's an emoji of some books. And if you feel like elaborating in your comment as well, you can do that. Or if you just want to be mysterious and enigmatic and just let your emojis speak for you, that works too. So I look forward to just seeing what you guys share. I don't know. I hope that I'm not overdoing it by starting on a really big kit like this one while I was just talking about having this pain in my shoulder. I really hope I'm not going to regret everything. But I keep telling myself it's okay to go slow. I'm going to try to, I don't know. I'll try to call my doctor this week. There's a couple of different phone calls I really need to take care of this week. So I'm going to try to be responsible. I have a list. I'm going to try to get it done, especially while Micah is in summer school. It's like I have that time. I can make it happen. But yeah, I'll take it slow. But I do think this is going to go really fast because it's pure color blocking. All right, you guys, we got through all of these. We are kitted up and ready to go. 7 containers for all 20 of this dark brown color. We got it all into this set. This is great. Okay, you guys, thanks for watching this week's WIP and Chat. If you would like to see more diamond painting videos from me, please subscribe. I'd love to have you here. I will do these weekly WIP and Chats almost always on Mondays unless something comes up schedule-wise. And let me know in the comments what you were working on, if you like, and how you're doing. So, all right, hope you're doing well. Have a day and a week that's as wonderful as you are, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.